right, all right. It happens sometimes, a little shift here and a little shift there, but I think in just the tubes we'll be able to have a conversation with Mr. Dwayne Brown. Just in case you are just joining us, let's just remind you of what we're in. We are in the CCRP update, our weekly look at what's happening within the organization that was created to empower, celebrate, and protect Jamaica's seniors, offering many benefits. And the website has practically all the information there, ccrponline.org. And the update is brought to you by J&GI Silver Shields, the best choice for auto and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. All right. Any joy with Mr. Brown? Not yet. Alrighty. Yeah, I think Mr. Brown,
Yes, sir.
how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry about that delay, but we're very happy to have you and for you to share with us some crucial advice about how to be able to spot the dangers online and how to remain cyber safe, how to remain secure online. And I know you're ready to help us. So here we go. I think the first thing might be to ask what may cause our seniors to be more vulnerable to cyber frauds than maybe some other populations within the society.
All right, no problem, Jerry. So first of all, I want to thank you, for having me on the program. I'm always willing to share.
Pleasure.
Yeah, man. So firstly, the thing that we need to point out is that people who engage in cyber fraud, these people are criminals, and they are no much different from the regular criminals we encounter on the street. So we should always be aware of that. And before we get into, cyber fraud and stuff, let's define fraud, right? Fraud is a crime that utilizes some form of deception. It actually involves misrepresenting the truth or concealing the facts. And it's normally for the fraudster's benefit. So in order for that to happen, you need to have three things generally. You need to have rationalization in the minds of the fraudster. He's saying, yes, I'm doing this and it's a good reason. I'm convinced that it's for my benefit. Secondly, they have the opportunity to do it. And thirdly, they are motivated to do it. Normally, it's due to financial reasons. They want to make more money on financial pressures, right? So what causes seniors to be a bit more vulnerable to cyber frauds? Well, I think one of the main reasons is that, in general, our seniors tend to be more trusting. They're actually grown up or nurtured in a world where people generally keep their word and look out for each other, where the community helps to raise the children. Therefore, they're more willing to share details and ideas about themselves that the criminal can use to their benefit. Right? Our seniors in the online space sometimes they find it more challenging to try to discern what is truthful, or untruth. Based on their strong respect for persons and institutions. Somebody said that they're calling from an institution. Seniors are more likely to, trust that. Right? So we're gonna tweak that a little bit by, emphasizing the fact that you need to check first and then respond secondly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Often they don't feel comfortable in this highly driven, technologically advanced state that we're in. Sometimes, they don't necessarily feel like they're keeping up with the technology. And, some people even feel a little proud. They feel uncomfortable to ask for assistance. Right? But I strongly believe that no one, including our seniors, should feel afraid about, this whole cyber thing. And the whole reason why we have technology is to make it easier for us to use. Right? So times have changed and so are the tools that we must use. So we're all about passing on the knowledge and making everybody more aware so that we can avoid the risk of these cyber frauds or these incidents going forward.
Yes, understood. I think maybe for many seniors, including myself, you're into the new technologies, but it evolves so rapidly. There's a time when I used to be so proud of, oh yes, I'm top of it. But it every day another one comes in because if you think organizations are solid in trying to ensure that they give good value and they're, those who would do people wrong are working twice as hard And so the trends are hard to follow. But you're right, panicking will probably not help. So,
And it's just for us to understand that the technology is there to benefit us. So we
yes.
don't need to be afraid of it. All we need to do is just try to get the knowledge. That's all. And the information is there.
Yes, yes. So checking in regularly is a good thing, which is what I do quite a bit, and a number of seniors I know, just to check on the technologies and to see what's happening because you can access stories. What are some of the most common cyber frauds?
All right. So some of the common cyber frauds that we're actually seeing now, especially from the digital space, the standard or the bread and butter for these guys are the phishing, vishing, and smishing. Phishing involves the use of emails. People generally trying to pretend to be a bank or trying to convince you that this email that they're sending it's authentic, it's genuine. They're actually asking you to perform some task, clicking on a link, you know, sending them your personal information. That's what phishing is. Sometimes it has attachments and stuff.
Mm,
Vishing is the voice version of that, where
mm,
it actually has the voice, like they leave voicemails or voice notes, and they're giving you instructions pretending to be from the bank, etc. Trying again to convince you to do something that the fraudsters need you to do so that they can benefit. Smishing is really using the text. So I'm sure a lot of people on your program, they would have, if they checked their text messages, they would have seen a message claiming to be maybe from a telecoms provider, a utility provider, and there's a link there that they're asking you to click on, right? Go
mm,
to some site or something. That's typically what they use. They continue to use these methods because they work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah, man. The other one is the WhatsApp scams. So I have gotten quite a few reports of this where, there's different variations to it, but at the end of the day, what the bad guys want is they want to take over your WhatsApp. Sometimes it's actually a targeted thing where you may know somebody that they really want to target, so they will actually come up with a scheme, pretend to be from your church or your friend or somebody, and then they're asking you to provide them with a verification code. If you don't think about it, you give them that verification code, they could end up taking over your WhatsApp account for some hours before you can get it back. And that means that, they would have possibly have access to your messages or to your contacts, and then they can, go further with that, right? And we don't want that. Because, we use WhatsApp for a lot of things at this point, personally.
Absolutely. I experienced something like that fairly recently. I know it makes sense. I didn't click on any link, but that's not the only way they can get it, right? Once you engage, that's the danger is engaging with these suspicious things because it could be by any means that there's a way of linking to protected information, right?
That's correct.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Yes.
Another one here is AI or online scams. It's really about using the technology. So this is where we start to talk about deep fakes, which is using artificial intelligence to make things seem more realistic. So what they will actually do is they'll actually, and I think, people are online on YouTube a lot. They would actually see videos where it looks like this is President Trump speaking about a topic. It sounds like Denzel Washington giving a speech, but it's actually the AI that is
Mm.
actually trained to utilize, voice or the words that are similar to Denzel. So all of these, again, going back to the definition of fraud, is trying to deceive the person, trying to make them feel comfortable that, the person, the voice that they're hearing is actually, trusted, but it's not. And similarly, they use video as well. So there have been companies that have been defrauded because fake videos would have been set up where they would have cut like the heads of directors, right? And they would actually be liaising with somebody maybe in finance and instructing the person from finance to send money to some suspicious account. The person in finance is not thinking about it, or even the senior citizens, and then they end up sending off monies to places that they shouldn't be sending it.
Wow. That's scary. But always there's a solution somehow, right? Tell tell me a little bit of how you would guide us to have a hedge against some of these things rather than panic is never an option, at least not for more than a hot second. And then being proactive, what do we look for that typically will lead us down the wrong rabbit hole?
All right. So the things that we can look for, like especially if you're presented with a video, like a fake AI video, right? Because that one is kind of tough when it
Hmm.
seems real. But what you have to do is you have to pay attention to the face, to the facial features, right? So if you're actually engaging in a meeting and it doesn't seem right, or they're asking you to do something that is out of whack, you could simply like raise your hand or do something with your body and see if the eyes are following you. If they are real people, then their eyes should focus to you or to
Mm,
you pulling up your hand, right?
yes.
You could look at the eyes and the eyebrows too, because if it's digitally enhanced, maybe the AI won't be able to adjust to that. You can pay attention to facial hairs and even to the lips, because sometimes the lips aren't syncing well with the words, depending on what they're using.
Right, because voicing is a huge part of my life for like the last 40 odd years. That's the first thing I picked up. The mouth looks like a cavern. It looks like a hole. It doesn't look like a mouth.
Right.
So when they do the O's and so on, the white vowels, then it looks say, yeah, man, duppy, aka AI, right?
Yep.
So the thing is to remain focused and to also call upon people like you who are trained and you are on top of the latest because that is a huge part of your specialty so that we can benefit from your expertise as often as we can. The best way is to ask the people who are more likely to know as well, no?
That's correct. So
Mhm.
again, what I want everybody to take away from this is one, check first, and two, respond second. A lot of the
Ah,
times, depending on the time when you actually receive these messages, we might be overwhelmed, we might be hungry, we might just wake up, and we're not at our best. And in that split second, we end up making a mistake.
mhm.
Right?
Yes,
So that is
yes.
also a thing that we need to be careful of. Remember, if it's too good to be true, then it's possibly false. Right?
More likely.
Yeah.
Uh, Right. Thank
Yep.
you very much, Mr. Cyber Boss. Big up yourself. Thanks for arming us with this critical information, the dangers that are baked into advancement. With advancement come dangers. With convenience come some dangers, and we're happy that you're helping us to be a lot safer. Thank you very much.
All right. No problem.
Bless you, Mr. Wayne Brown, Executive Cybersecurity Executive in the JN Financial Group. How to identify and guard against cyber frauds. Next Sunday, for all things CCRP, visit our website, ccrponline.org. CCRP Update, brought to you as always by J&GI Silver Shield, your best deal in auto and property insurance, exclusively for CCRP members. They offer the very best value and a boatload of benefits.